A win is a win is a win, and the Indiana Fever without Caitlin Clark go up against the Las Vegas Aces and last year's MVP, A'ja Wilson, and walk away with a W, 80-70. Sophie Cunningham has been hot to trot. Sophie Cunningham has been on fire.
A win is a win until it's this win. On July 24th, 2025, the Indiana Fever walked into Gainbridge Fieldhouse carrying the weight of 2 straight losses, the absence of their generational star Caitlin Clark, and a cloud of doubt cast by every analyst, podcaster, and tweet. They were supposed to fold. They were supposed to get steamrolled by the reigning champions, the Las Vegas Aces, a team built on dominance and dripping in confidence. But instead, the Fever walked out with a statement, an 80-70 dismantling of the Aces. No Clark, no problem.
Back in the W shot.
Oh, that was a gut check win right there. Oh, nothing to say.
Yes, Natasha Howard!
That was a fun one. My gosh, and these jerseys are swaggy.
This wasn't just a surprising victory, it was a shockwave. The kind that reverberates through an entire league and makes everyone sit up and ask, what just happened? Because on paper, the Fever had every reason to lose. But what unfolded on that hardwood court wasn't luck. It was something deeper, something forged under pressure and born from being counted out. The Fever didn't just survive without their star, they thrived.
Obviously, there's no timeline for Caitlin, but what has she been able to do this last week? Is it mostly just rehab recovery, or has she been able to do any kinds of practice?
Yeah, no, I mean, we haven't really practiced since the couple days before All-Star break. So mostly rehab, shooting, and she's been with our athletic training team, and we've been preparing everybody else.
Let's rewind for a second. The Fever entered this game sitting at a perfectly average 12-12 record. Caitlin Clark, their engine, their media magnet, their spark plug, was sidelined with a groin injury. Social media had already written them off. Sports talk shows dragged them for being overhyped. The narrative was brutal and simple. Without Clark, the Fever were just another WNBA bottom feeder. And stepping onto the court against A'ja Wilson's Las Vegas Aces, back-to-back champions with a chip on their shoulder, it was supposed to be a slaughter.
Steph, Caitlin presents a challenge in itself for any opponent, but when she doesn't play, how is your team different?
I think our ball moves differently. What we run is different. She has such gravity and her ability, not just to be at the top of the scouting report, but her ability to make everybody better with the ball in her hands. So some of the things that we run are different when she's on the floor than when she's not. We run some more off-ball stuff, a lot less on-ball action.
But something changed the moment the ball tipped. While Clark sat in street clothes, shouting encouragement and visibly frustrated with the refs, her teammates transformed. They didn't look like a team trying to replace a superstar. They looked like a team finally stepping into their own identity. With Kelsey Mitchell, Sophie Cunningham, and Natasha Howard leading the charge, Indiana flipped the script and took control of the game with relentless defense, fearless shooting, and zero hesitation.
Yeah, it's definitely a relief to know that there's nothing else going on and no more damage. Now it's just being patient with the process. You can't have 5-minute lapses against great teams. They make you pay and they bury you in those moments. I think we've seen throughout the course of the season, where we've been really good for long stretches and where we've weathered the ups and downs of a game, and we've got to be able to do that from a neutral mindset. We can't get into the playing conservative.
And if you're watching this right now wondering how this all unfolded, you're exactly who we made this video for. So do us a solid. Hit that like button if you're fired up about this Fever squad. Smash the subscribe button if you want deep dives and hidden stories like this every week. And drop a comment, who was your MVP of this game? We read every single one. Let's keep building this channel together.
Handoff Cunningham. Cunningham too strong. Mitchell able to save the day. And it's Mitchell going right to the rim. Beats the shot clock and lays it in. Mitchell to the rescue.
Sessions very disruptive, causing all kinds of havoc. Late shot clock situations. And then Kelsey Mitchell.
For most of the season, Kelsey Mitchell had been a walking question mark. One night, she'd explode for 25 points. The next, she'd vanish under the weight of inconsistency. The critics weren't subtle either. They called her unreliable, streaky, even unfit to lead in crunch time. And early in this game, those voices got louder. Mitchell looked lost. She missed her first few shots. Her body language was tight, and the whispers of "here we go again" echoed louder than the Gainbridge Fieldhouse crowd.
Let's go!
Okay, we answered runs today, y'all. We had one another's back today, y'all. In the moments where it seemed like they could have made a little bit of a comeback, we stopped that. Yeah, we sure did. Now we have to be able to continue to stack that, maintain that consistency right there. I'm so proud of you guys. So proud of you guys. That was a hard-fought win. You earned it. Get up here, 1, 2, 3, together.
But then came the moment. Coach Stephanie White pulled her aside during a timeout. She didn't yell. She didn't criticize. She simply said, "Let it fly." That was the spark. Mitchell came back out with a new fire. The same shots she had missed before were now dropping with authority. Step backs, floaters, deep threes. Everything started connecting. She ended the night with 21 points and 4 assists. But it wasn't just the numbers, it was the timing. She scored 9 in the fourth quarter, right when the Aces were clawing back. In the heat of battle, Mitchell didn't flinch. She rose. This was the kind of performance that rewrites reputations. No Caitlin Clark? No problem. Mitchell grabbed the torch and carried it. And with every swish, she sent a message to everyone who doubted her. You were wrong. I'm still that player. And the Fever? Still that team.
Boston thought about the three. Cunningham feed inside. Boston spinning, turning, ducking, finding Mitchell, who splashes home a three.
While the world was watching Clark on the bench and Mitchell on the court, Sophie Cunningham was quietly setting the league on fire. Again. If you haven't been paying attention, Sophie isn't just having a good month. She's having a career-defining month. She walked into this game riding a 6-game double-digit scoring streak, shooting a ridiculous 58.1% from three-point range. And against the Aces, she didn't cool off. She lit up.
Fun. Couple of former teammates played 2 years together.
Clear out. Take it.
Mitchell sizing up Lloyd. She will launch and bury a three.
Get out of the way. Mitchell pulling the trigger from deep. Fever up 9.
Cunningham knocked down 3 of her 4 attempts from deep, finishing with 15 points that felt like haymakers. Every time the Aces started to gain momentum, Sophie answered. Not with flash, but with ice-cold precision. Her shots weren't just timely. They were devastating. Her release was automatic. Her confidence, untouchable. This wasn't a role player having a hot stretch. This was a weapon being fully unleashed.
Got 2 really good offensive coaches over there on the sideline.
Mitchell finds a cutting Boston, who lays it in. From Mitchell here on this one.
So you don't want anybody to cut across the front of your face, but it's just a really good...
And it didn't end with just shooting. Coach White praised her ball handling, her rebounding, her ability to stretch the floor and create space. Fans are now pushing her for 6th Player of the Year, and honestly, who else is in the conversation? Sophie isn't just hot, she's red hot. And if you agree, drop a comment below. Red hot Sophie, and let the haters know.
Offense was not the issue for Indiana on Tuesday. They put up 84 points despite the absence of Caitlin Clark. Cunningham hit 5 threes, and it's her first tonight. Stay with Indiana.
So Sophie Cunningham doing a really good job of reading the stagger. You have options off that, and she's reading the second.
There are big shots. And then there are moments. Moments when the pressure swallows most players whole. Moments that define a game, a season, and sometimes even a career. Ari McDonald got one of those moments with 35 seconds left. The Fever were up by 5, but the Aces were charging. Everyone knew a Vegas run could flip the script. One mistake, one missed shot, and it could all unravel.
Playing for Sophie Cunningham to start again tonight, or what's your...
Yes.
What is it about her, I guess, at the start of a game that you like having her in the lineup?
Another ball handler, another player who can create shots for her teammates, as well as stretch the floor. a really good defensive rebounder as well. We had at times really struggled from a defensive rebounding standpoint, so like that as well, and her energy.
But McDonald didn't blink. She caught the ball at the top of the arc, gave one sharp hesitation, stepped back, and let it fly. Swish, no rim, no doubt. That three-pointer shattered any hope Vegas had of a comeback. It was the exclamation mark, the dagger. The moment the entire crowd knew we just did that. And get this, that was her only shot of the fourth quarter. One shot, one kill, pure confidence.
So you had Melissa Smith on you. I would just clear it out if you're Mitchell. Just tell everybody, go to the other side of the floor.
Cunningham straight away delivers with a three.
McDonald ended the game with 9 points, 4 assists, and 2 steals in just 22 minutes. But it's that one shot that everyone will remember. Because sometimes, greatness isn't loud. Sometimes it doesn't show up in highlight reels. Sometimes, it's a quiet assassin with perfect timing and ice in her veins.
Vegas has done a nice job coming on the road, keeping Indiana Fever in check offensively, and Sophie Cunningham, you cannot lose her.
While highlight reels focus on shooters, true fans know where games are really won. In the paint, on the boards, and in the dirty work. Natasha Howard didn't just show up, she dominated. With 18 points and 13 rebounds, she was a force. But it was the way she controlled the game that made the difference. She grabbed 3 steals, boxed out Olympic-level bigs, and clogged passing lanes that disrupted the Aces' rhythm all night long. Howard's post-game comments were telling. "Our defense gets our offense going," she said. And it wasn't just a cliche. It was the blueprint. The Fever didn't win by outflashing Vegas. They outworked them. Possession after possession, Howard was the anchor. She set the tone physically, emotionally, and strategically. She kept the Fever grounded when things got chaotic. Players like Natasha Howard don't always make headlines, but they win championships. She's not flashy. She's fierce. And if this team goes deep into the postseason, Howard will be one of the biggest reasons why.
Well, first of all, I started off with our defense. Our defense to get our offense going, and that's how we maintain games like that. We don't rely on our offense a lot. We rely on our defense to get when our defense is going, our offense is going. So we limited the Vegas to one shot, and that's how we got open shots for the shooters inside the paint and everything.
When Clark went down, everyone assumed the Fever would fade. But what this team did was bigger than a single win. They redefined their entire identity. Mitchell proved she can lead. Cunningham showed she's elite. McDonald and Howard stepped up with calm, seasoned poise. This wasn't a lucky game. It was a blueprint for sustainable success. And the Fever didn't just beat the Aces, they took the season series. They now lead 2-1 against the defending champs, which could be crucial for playoff seeding. That matters. That changes things. This wasn't just a bump in the road for Vegas. It was a signpost for the entire WNBA. Indiana is not just Caitlin Clark. Indiana is a team with weapons, grit, and depth. So if you're someone who thought the Fever were a one-woman show, you might want to rethink that take. Because what this squad just proved is simple. When the lights get bright, they don't flinch. They fight. The Fever's 80-70 victory over Las Vegas wasn't just a feel-good story. It was a message, written in sweat, grit, and clutch buckets. They're now 13-12, sitting in 6th place and climbing. But the real story? They found a new identity. They're battle-tested. And when Clark returns, she's walking back into a team, not a dependency. This was more than a win. It was a warning to the entire league. Don't get comfortable. Don't assume. And definitely don't underestimate Indiana ever again. If you made it this far, you're exactly who we create content for. So don't just leave. Be part of the journey. Subscribe to the channel so you never miss these underdog stories. Like the video if you're all in on this Fever squad. And comment below, who's the most underrated player on this team right now? Let's talk about it. We'll be reading and replying. The W is heating up, and this is just the beginning.